All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Sketch here from 343, joined by my man, Unishek. We are excited to be talking to you about Halo Infinite Season 4 Infection, just a few days away, arriving on PC and Xbox next Tuesday, June 20th. Today, we're going to walk through some of the new features and content experiences that you can look forward to. Before we do that, I want to give you a quick shout out and heads up. Watching our broadcast today will give you an opportunity to pick up a sweet new weapon charm.
Yep, you can get the Mizraya Armory weapon charm. That'll unlock instantly as long as you've got your Waypoint profile linked up with your Twitch account. But watch 30 minutes on Twitch, and it's yours.
Excellent. So never been a better time to watch a stream, let alone jump into Infinite. Now, we're going to kick things off with two special guests from the studio. We want to welcome and introduce Brian and Kaylee. Guys, great to have you here.
How's it going?
Good to be here.
We want to talk to you all about, of course, maps and sandbox, your respective areas of expertise. And I say we kick it off and jump right into talking about our brand new arena map, Forest, one of my personal favorites. I have absolutely loved the way this map looks. I've had a great time playing it in playtest. Kaylee, talk to us about Forest. Just kind of where did this originate? What's the idea behind it?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were really inspired to bring, a redwood forest biome to the game, something completely new. It's really different than all the other environments we've got. And we were really inspired by bringing in sanctuary vibes to this map. And you can really see that going on in the center of the ruins and
The Delta
Forest
Halo
here. Yeah,
art
absolutely.
style. Fans love it. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, we really worked to try and make this map segmented to give different styles of play, places to shine, have some long lines of sight for some sniper battles, but also some close quarters inside these caves we see here.
Was there a particular game type or game types that you were trying to solve for, or do you guys try to approach it sort of everything should work on everything?
Absolutely. Yeah, a bunch of different game modes shine on this map, but really Strongholds really comes to the top. It's great. There's a lot of rotational gameplay through this map, and with a lot of the new sandbox items, Stronghold's pretty awesome.
You said One Flag when we were talking earlier plays pretty darn well too, right?
Yeah. This is a map where One Flag is working really awesome, and we've been having a lot of fun in here with that.
I feel like it's maybe is it the moistest map we've shipped for Halo Infinite?
I can't believe you
you
said that.
I mean,
Definitely. Yeah, we've got the river running through the middle of the map
Waterfalls.
and waterfalls and some pretty treacherous waterfalls as well. So
Yeah,
players
if you
will have
get
to watch
too-
out for those.
Yeah, you get too close to one of those waterfalls, you'll have a bad time. Or
Yeah.
a good time.
Environmental hazards that kill players is your hallmark as a level designer.
Death pits, favorite thing.
Oh, I love death bits too.
Hey,
It's a good
speaking
time.
of too, I mean, as someone who's put a lot more time into this map than anybody else so far, any kind of initial pointers or pro tips you might want to share just to help anyone have an edge when this map goes live next week?
Yeah, absolutely. Just control of that power weapon, that sniper rifle, and that waterfall in the center is absolutely key for teams to pay attention to in this map. And there's a lot of positions around the map where that thing will just absolutely dominate.
Cool, and I think you might even, we'll talk about that in a minute with you, Barry Hill. Sniper is actually going to have a little bit of a different behavior, I believe,
Absolutely.
too. So we'll get to that in a second. Before we do that, though, we do have some brand new sandbox additions, a really exciting piece of equipment that there's been nothing like this in the Halo franchise to date that I can really think of. It's unusual, it's different. It's the quantum translocator. Tell us about that.
So this is a new UNSC power equipment. So it's supposed to have the impact similar to the overshield or the active camo. What it does is it lets you teleport between two specific destinations. So the first time you use it, you're going to put a slipstream down, which is basically your exit point. And then the next time you hit the equipment, you'll teleport back there, and then the exit point updates again. So you'll be able to use this equipment to ping pong a bunch of times. Now you're not going to be able to just like go back every frame as fast as you can hit it. You're going to have a cooldown, so you have to be very intentional with your teleport. But you can do a lot of crazy outplays. You can peek multiple angles as one person. You can dodge rockets and grenades. It's really strong.
Yeah, as long as you set it up ahead of time,
Yes.
right? You have that forethought. And you're like, I'm going to try and outsmart these players.
Yeah.
You set it up, and then you bounce around.
There's
a bit.
nothing
Yeah.
worse than just rushing in with quantum and be like, oh, I should have set that up 5 seconds ago.
Yep. Yeah.
There's so much 4D chess going on with that thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of, when you're designing something like this in playtest, I'm sure it's maybe fun for you when you have an intention or initial design, but then someone does something totally unexpected that makes you have to rethink, anything come to mind where there's a scenario that made you like, I did not expect that to happen?
So the first one that got us was when somebody was standing on the exit because they were just trying to like look at it, and then the person returned and he just got like split out at 1,000,000 miles an hour because of halo physics, right? And so like, okay, we got to do something about that. So we set up a custom death and a custom death effects, a whole new kill feed, so that if you exit while someone's on top of you, you get a special kill for them. It was pretty fun.
So you can telefrag if they're standing right on your receiver.
Absolutely. I don't know how that actually work in a real environment, but I look forward to seeing
you
it.
can lay traps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sneaky. So, okay. And John, I think you were mentioning, we're talking about how it'll maintain your momentum as well, right?
Yeah, they were just telling me right before this started, you get to
You have
maintain.
to still be in the air. So there is some
okay.
more planning that has to go, because like the second you touch the ground, friction becomes your mistress.
So you got to maintain the momentum in the air, but then you can use that to
Yes.
chain some pretty cool moves.
Absolutely.
I feel like then we might see some crazy Mint Blitz videos coming out of this.
hopefully.
And I'm just gonna go
I'm
ahead
really
and-
excited
go ahead
to
and
watch
say
that at the highest
great.
level.
Yep.
Any sort of similar to what we asked Kaylee, any kind of pro tips or sort of things that may not be obvious to a player that might help us get the leg up on our competition?
Totally. I would definitely say play offensively with the equipment. Everybody's first initial gut is to play defensively, to push in and then pull out. But like I was saying in my earlier demonstration, like if you're using it to peek multiple sightlines, you can put a lot of pressure on situations that are 1v2 or even 1v3. Like even if you don't kill anybody, you're just creating a huge nuisance and a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I started using it offensively once I got the hang of it, where I'm going to warp to, and it was a lot of fun. So,
Absolutely.
excited for it.
And then one other thing I just wanted to ask, you mentioned you call this a power equipment, and just so folks understand, I think we put that in a different category, right? Because I think we were discussing earlier, it's truly game changing.
Yep.
So it's not going to be something that's just constantly in play, that's popping up all the time. Like how should we think about that as a power item?
So it's going to be set on a set time, same as overshield and active camo, and it's going to be placed on those same pads, and it's going to replace some of that equipment on older maps.
Cool. And then of course, we were talking about this. Can't wait to see what people do with that in Forge now with custom maps built for these experiences.
Absolutely.
Some of these crazy parkour maps and stuff we've already seen going to go to the next level, obviously, when fans get their hand on
It's
this.
going to be crazy.
Cool. Well, let's talk about our next map. For fans of Big Team Battle, this map called Scar.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a Banished-based inspiration there. But tell us about this, Kaylee.
Yeah, we're really excited for people to check out this map. I mean, just imagine the Banished coming to a planet and absolutely stripping it of everything it's got down to where it's just like a molten husk of an environment. And we've got this dropship that's landed. They're mining everything out of the planet. And we really worked to make this map just extremely segmented so that players can choose their own adventure as they're working through it. They want to take equipment, come swinging around the outside of the map, backdoor the other team. They want to have the power position that we see here in the center, above the center core drill. And there's a bunch of the sandbox in here that really lets players take positions, make hard counters to those positions. And
Saw a repulsor right there by the pit.
absolutely, yeah. And
That's
we've got tons of environmental hazards here to deal with. And yeah, it's really become one of our favorites.
You mentioned that center drill is really an important stronghold, essentially, to hold. And you want
Absolutely.
that
There's a
map
lot of
control.
gameplay loops around the middle of this map. We've got a power weapon, rockets right at the bottom middle of this map. There's a teleporter down there that can bring you along that 50-yard line with a man cannon
teleporter
and
is
the power
really
position
cool.
above.
Yeah.
So players can learn to really find their traversal route and loops through that area to just maintain control and try and counter incoming enemies.
I'm a sucker for that outer ring on the dirt as a driver. Nothing better than warding up on a warthog or a mongoose and taking that wide path.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really intrigued now by this notion of just a bunch of Spartans trying to swing around the outside. I want to see. How
Yeah,
that's
it's
going to play out.
non-trivial, but it's a good ride.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Catalyst. You can kind of go all the way around. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Players are really gonna, I think, have a fun time exploring like how they can really maximize the usage of the different pieces of equipment in the map.
Nice.
Now, we don't have an asset for this, but speaking of maps, one of the things I wanted to ask you about too. So Infection, we'll talk about that in a little bit, our new marquee mode that we're excited to bring back into the franchise. I understand that the team did some special work on the other maps to sort of create an additional layer of sort of immersion in the Infection experience.
Absolutely, yeah. So Infection's going to be on a lot of the different maps in the game, but we've gone through each one of those and changed some geometry just for that mode that will appear just for that. Opened up some of the spaces players might have had a peek into as they're playing some of these environments, and really tried to make those environments sing with that mode specifically. And so that should be a really fun thing to explore.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later in the show. But Infection will have its own playlist, and there'll be a lot of ample opportunities to jump in and see that new experience.
To give a hint, look for the pipes on streets. That's my go-to hiding spot.
Pipes on streets.
On Infection.
Okay. Now, Barry Hill, back to you. We have one other brand new piece of equipment coming into the game, the Threat Seeker.
Correct.
Yes.
So what would you like us to know about that?
So it's a sensing piece of equipment that's tuned more for the competitive side of things. And the way it's going to work is you're going to launch it out like a grenade. It's going to hit a wall and then detonate. Now, on its detonation, you're going to detect all hostiles in line of sight, and then it's going to mark them for a significantly long time, so like 5 to 6 seconds. And what we really like about this is it puts more of a skill check up front, but if you succeed, you get a longer payoff, and there's a lot of information you can glean about where someone's going to recover or where they're trying to push as a team, and we think it's going to just kind of help smooth out this sensing story in class we're trying to get in a competitive environment.
And they have to be within line of sight.
Correct. Yeah, so aim high on this one because there's a surprising amount of ground clutter that I got in a bad habit of like shooting threat sensors onto the ground to detect the whole room, but aim high.
But we are confirming this is not the wall hack that some people might have been concerned about when they first heard about this.
It has to be in line of sight, and that's one of the biggest things we wanted to make this for. Is that was not free information is very bad in a competitive environment, so we really wanted to put more of a skill check.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see people start putting that to use and kind of see some more of like a support mentality role come to the forefront and add another layer of strategy to some of these engagements. Looking back over here at my notes, I know we also have a couple sandbox tuning updates that you and the team have worked on.
Absolutely.
Now, one of which, John, I know you're very excited about.
Yeah. The legacy sniper toggle, sniper zoom is
getting the
class. Getting a little choked up over
it.
It really it does mean a lot.
It's finally
to you.
happening.
Yeah.
No, it's something we've heard a lot of from the community. Like Halo is a very long and established franchise, and so there's a lot of muscle memory people are bringing for multiple titles. While it's important that we kind of continue to innovate or modernize controls, we got to make sure that we don't invalidate that long-standing muscle memory. So now when you YY a sniper rifle, you can opt in to reset that to 5x zoom instead of going back to 10x zoom. So just kind of preserve those old skills.
I've been using it a lot. I'm a big fan of it.
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying every time you go back to retail, you're like, it's not out yet.
Yeah, I'm not used to it again. I'm like, come on.
So you're saying,
excited.
Should it make me a better sniper then?
Absolutely,
hopefully?
100%.
Okay.
That's my promise to everybody, actually.
All right, Ranked Snipers Season 4. Sketch is coming for you.
Right.
Now, I understand the team also took this opportunity to tweak the threat sensor a little bit.
Correct. So we were kind of stuck where we have a piece of equipment that has to exist in an arena space and a BTB space, and we can't create something that works for both. So adding this threat seeker lets us make something dedicated for the arena space and tune the threat sensor to be exclusively for the BTB space. So we upped up the area, we gave it a quicker ping and a less mark duration. So it's more about locking down an area and detecting all information in this area for like a long duration of time, where the threat seeker is more of a one and done. And then you have to pass that skill test.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the questions that I've always been interested in, I find fascinating. Obviously, it takes an army to make all these experiences, right? But tell us just briefly the dynamic between your two teams, gameplay, maps. How do y'all work together to deliver a unified experience? Does gameplay define map design? Does map design
I don't know.
Who wins? The honest answer is both. We both have ideas on maps and gameplay, what we want to do. But once I pass prototype, one of the first things I do is make sure there's a map where this could really sell on the use case. Because if I'm going to make it, it's not going to be a map. There's no point to make it, right? So once we kind of get the map chosen, we go into play test. We get it vetted by competitive insights team, studio, designers, and we just grind on it.
Yeah, we're working in lockstep, and we're thinking about those different player fantasies and combat situations, and really just working together to figure out exactly how we want those to pan out in the game world, and then just marching forward to make it happen together.
You wouldn't make a repulsor without a map that had death pits.
Yeah, without death pits, what's the point?
Exactly.
Give me some pancake actions.
Yeah, that's true.
Some nice jumps.
Yeah.
So you're also touching on sort of sometimes the challenges, maybe the considerations of designing an experience that maybe has to work across BTB and arena. And I think one of the, I don't know, maybe it's a challenge for me to call it that, is when you guys want to take a piece of equipment or a weapon and now you have to consider, is this going to change the way things behave in campaign?
Absolutely.
Versus multiplayer? And I'm using that now to segue into the fact that for season 4, kind of I guess it's a nerdy under the hood change that we're making on a technical level is we're basically separating the files, kind of building a virtual bubble between campaign and multiplayer, which I think for the first time will give your team a little more freedom to hone in on a particular experience without having to think about what could happen to either one.
Absolutely. Just not get like too into the weeds, but there's a lot of things we can't change without changing campaign. One of those is vehicle regeneration. Chip damage in PvP right now is very strong, but it's not strong at all in campaign. So once we go into isolation, we can maybe look at buffing vehicle regeneration and material responses, and that will help us kind of create a better PvP experience while keeping campaign the excellent experience it is right now.
Yeah, I know from just a pure test sort of perspective, just the surface area, I mean, they don't have to now test the entire campaign for any potential knock-on effect for what might happen on the MP side of the fence, right?
It's a huge
Now, John, I know you wanted to just make sure that players just were aware that there'll be a minor change to that flow when you want to go play campaign once this update lands next week.
Yep, we've got a video of it here. So you're in the multiplayer menu, and you just, when you want to go play campaign, you confirm that you're going to head into that new campaign executable, because like you were saying on the technical level, they are now pretty separate. So you're going to go into a launching menu loading screen here, but then it's very much the same experience. You launch in, you've got a new fire team. As I should have mentioned, it will disband your fire team when you jump from that multiplayer to campaign, but then you just go into your roster and you can invite your friends back in, play campaign co-op, and have a good time.
Nice.
And we did have one other nice addition to campaign coming with season 4, which is going to be a quality of life update for people who are going after their achievements, especially for that lasso achievement, the headmaster achievement. We could load it up right now. You've got right here what it looks like right now on your TAC map. You'll see Outpost Ramonius and completed in the top left. This player's completed it on normal or easy mode, I think I see right there. But with our update here in season 4, you'll see a completed plus for any portion of the map that you have completed on lasso. So that plus, make sure you know this has been completed, you're making progress towards that headmaster achievement, and you can verify that you're going to get that lasso achievement.
I knew there was just like one mission holding me back from getting that achievement.
that was the one.
Now I can go back and figure that out. Cool. So that'll all be kind of a bit of a change that you'll see next Tuesday when this update drops. Guys, before we turn you loose, because I know you got work to do, any sort of final parting thoughts or anything you'd like to share?
I'd just like to thank my team on the sandbox for working diligently to make sure we're hitting faster seasons and reacting to community feedback. Everyone's been really crushing it, so thank you to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just really excited for the players to check out all this new content, and so many people involved in putting it together.
Excellent. Well, appreciate you both stopping by. I cannot wait to, I want to go for that new translocator event. I want to try to get, what'd you call it?
Like a
telefrag. There you go.
Yes.
I'm going to try that. We're going to make it happen. I'm also going to swing around the outside of Scar. But you'll be able to get your hands on these new maps and new sandbox updates next Tuesday, June 20th. We're going to take a super quick break. When we come back, we will jump into the new Season 4 100 tier Battle Pass. We also want to talk a little bit about our new career rank system that's also arriving next week. So stick around. Shout out to that music. Checking out chat. It looks like everybody was enjoying that. That music slaps, right?
Yeah, that's what chat said.
Wow. Music go hard. But we're back again. Sketch here at 343. We are excited to be talking about the Halo Infinite Season 4 update, which comes out next Tuesday, June 20th. Real quick reminder, though, just for watching, hopefully you're logged into Twitch and you've got your accounts connected there, but we do have a Twitch drop being offered here for this broadcast.
Yep, the Mizraya Armory weapon charm is just free and available. Just watch 30 minutes here on Twitch with us today, and you've got it unlocked, and you can equip it to your weapons.
You should almost be there by now if you've been here since the beginning, and of course you have been.
Well, what happens if you...
Hey.
Sorry, guys. But what happens if you were here and you can't be watching?
Oh, like right now?
Yeah,
How are
can
you
I
going to get
get-
it? Well, I don't know. Aren't you the guy? I feel like you have the ability to probably solve that. By the way, folks, surprise intro. Sean jumped the gun here, but we are excited for this next segment to welcome two new guests. Of course, Sean needs no further introduction, and Tiana. Welcome, Tiana.
Hello.
Happy to have you both here. We want to talk about customization to kind of kick things off, right? It's been a cornerstone of Halo Infinite since launch. It has, in my opinion, continued to get cooler and better. I'm super stoked about what the team's bringing to bear here with Season 4. But
Season
Sean,
4 is the best.
we talked to you a couple times with the community off and on. How are you all thinking about season 4 and sort of what were the goals specifically for the customization story?
Yeah. So last month we did the Discord chat where we talked about our goals with customization, depth, breadth, and quality, and we're trying to bring all of those to season 4. So when we start going through all of this customization, you're going to see that from a depth perspective, we are going deeper on some of the cores that we already have out. Right. So we're going to be continuing to support those, fleshing out the options that you have for those.
You can kind of see on the right there the Yoroi.
Yep. And there's a bunch of stuff that works on all of the cores actually in this season. From a breadth perspective, we are adding new player experiences and options that players can have with for example, the Hazmat core, some of our new weapon geo that we're really excited about. And then from a value perspective, it's making sure that we put those things in to the store and to the battle pass in places that you can get them from playing, or you can get them for really good value. So you feel like your time is worth it.
Well, speaking of value, we'll pivot off that. And I know a lot of folks are super eager to see what does the battle pass have in store for season 4.
Let's do it.
It is always fun to sort of drive through. I'm going to pick up my controller here. We are going to switch over to our build. First thing I just wanted to touch on here, sort of like we experimented with and did with season 3, we have another sort of special premium upsell offer, right, Sean?
We do. Yeah, we have the coating there in the forefront that you see. It's the Genesis Bloom coating. It's for every single core that's in the game right now. We will have an assault rifle, a new geo, weapon geo for it, bonus XP. For every single match that you play, and durability associated with it.
Yeah, of course. Premium battle passes in Halo Infinite never expire. So once you've got it, it's yours to keep. And also, like that AR was an example, and we'll look at one here in a minute too of that new weapon, some of the new weapon models. And when you say geo, by the way, you're talking about like you mean the geometry, right? Like and we'll get into that. And I think maybe right now what people probably are eager to is we'll just kind of move through the past and kind of look at some cool stuff. Sean, maybe one thing though it's worth touching on. You mentioned this already. We do have one new core coming out this season. It's the Hazmat core.
There it is.
It's free for everyone.
Yep,
right?
Everybody gets it. Yeah.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot. There's been a lot of debate online. How does the Hazmat core fictionally make sense?
I don't get it. Why do Spartans with the Mjolnir armor need something that's more hazmat-y? Right?
Hazmat-y. I like that.
That's
Very
official
nice.
term. That's canon. So I talked to Jeff Easterling about this, and he gave me some background just to let people know. First of all, from a design perspective, this core just gives our designers an opportunity to explore new textures, new colors, space, and shapes that they want to move on. And then you can already see that it's very much more like a rubberized fabric.
But different
from
materials.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. From a narrative or a canon perspective, the goal here is to create or to introduce a core, a suit that it wasn't actually developed initially for Spartans, but they've created a Spartan version for it that is able to take on even more hazardous, high radiation places, but also is unique because it is hardened against cyber attack. So it is able to have a higher level of cybersecurity than any of our other cores or armors, and it suits it for the infection mode that we have.
Okay.
It suits it.
Yep.
It suits it.
I added a pun there
Well done.
on purpose. Thank you.
Well, Sean said it, so it must be officially true in canon now. So thanks for that clarification. Sorry, one more disclaimer before we jump in. For folks that maybe haven't played Infinite in a while since the winter update, also it's probably worth reminding them that just by logging in, they will receive all of the cores that exist in the game to date.
Yeah,
we made
cores are
those
not
free,
hidden behind
right?
a paywall
So,
anymore. No.
Great time to come back. There's so much content to sink your teeth into. But without further ado, let's do some scrolling here. We're just going to move through this. Now, keep in mind, we have a 100-tier premium pass. There's free rewards, premium rewards, and I believe I've heard there's about 180 total rewards in here. So we have packed this thing full of cool content. And as I said at this outset, some of the best content I think we've done.
Yeah.
The team's done a fantastic job with this. Right?
I love the story that the team told with the progression of the content in this battle pass. I think it gets more and more covetous as you go through.
Better rewards.
As you
go deeper.
as you go
Okay,
deeper.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool little wrist thing there.
Yeah.
Tiana, are you a Hazmat fan or?
I am. I'm a huge fan of this. I love the colors. Yellow, yeah. It's a winner.
Now, one thing I wanted to mention here too, for folks that maybe didn't catch the Discord chat that Sean mentioned a bit ago, all the new to season 4 premium coatings that are available in this season next week. We're going to make sure we offer a version that works on all existing cores for UNSC weapons where applicable and Spartan models.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. UNSC cross weapon and then across all of the cores.
Now, what that means is we also want to clarify that for now, just because of the way the system was set up and is designed, we're going to see that represented as individual offers, essentially, right?
Yep.
But it's something I know that you and the team are already working on. So in future seasons, in theory, basically we'll be able to have a one size fits all. Here it is, and it just works on everything.
Yeah. So in season 5, upcoming, we will have collapsed all of those. Wait, don't go past this level.
Okay,
here.
I'll wait.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about my favorite, one of my favorite helmets. So in season 5, we're going to have all of the coatings, because it'll be on every core. We'll just have one level for it, and we're going to make some changes to the battle pass that we'll talk about as we get closer to season 5, where we're not separating things across the battle pass levels as much as we have in the past, because we don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I just wanted folks to have that context because we don't love necessarily either that we have to have each coatings version of each core's version of a coating has to be a separate tier. Right now, it's just a bit of
It's most obvious in the store offers or the bundles where you'll see we're trying to give you this coating, but we have to you're going to see the icon for every single core. We're not selling you all of them, right? We're giving you that one for all of the cores.
Anyways, I want to touch on it. I just know it's a lot of people are passionate, and it's just one more step on this sort of evolution as you and the team keep helping to find ways to make this content more versatile and more flexible, because we've gotten that feedback, right? People like to be able to mix things across. So
for sure.
Let's get back into this. I've only made
go to the helmet.
minimal progress. This helmet we've talked about a lot. People like this. This
it might be my
badass.
favorite helmet in the entire pass. It is good.
Oh yes, the old Mark 6 CBRN, the Caburn.
My old friend.
We got a nice chest attachment here. We'll keep going through. Of course, XP boosts and swaps you'll find throughout. Emblems, backgrounds. Now here's an example of a weapon coating.
Yep. So that is on that premium track there.
Yep. We'll see this a few more times, as we mentioned, as we see different weapon versions represented. Now this is the midnight version for hazmat, looking sharp. Ooh, surface tension. Be fun to be. How do the names for these get created? I wonder. It sounds like a fun.
You're gonna have to ask. I feel like it's just Jeff Easterling. I'm not sure. I actually don't know.
I'm seeing a lot of purple already. Was that your doing, Sean?
I love purple. You know that. I mean, I wanted hazmat to be purple, but apparently that's not a color that we can.
Knee
use.
pads.
Yep.
Gotta have knee pads. Let's keep moving. Keep moving. Nice weapon charms. There's another version of the citrus wash. This time on the sidekick. Looking pretty cool. More knee pad. Oh, sorry, my bad. Shoulders now.
That's a good shoulder.
That's
on a Mark 7 too.
Got to complete the look. Yep. So
good.
I do like that too. By the way, I like that the pass has a little bit of something for all the cores, right?
Depth.
It's not. There's lots of hazmat stuff to come. Make no mistake about it. But I do like that we're kind of going back to the well and adding more value to some of those older cores too.
And those shoulders are on the free track, so you get them for free there.
Solid helmet.
It's a very good
Talon.
helmet.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Sticker.
Oh, what's
envelope.
that shoulder at 19?
What oh,
that
19?
neck shoulder,
All right,
yeah.
let's get to it. Of course, it's not. I'm looking forward to dusting off my Yoroi core. This shoulder, that's cool.
Yeah.
That
Very
is
nice.
cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's fire suppression or oxygen tanks or.
Just make it up right now, and it'll be canon.
I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
one of
You heard
each.
it here first.
Yeah, one of each.
All right, let's keep going. What do we got?
Just getting people
the other
in trouble
shoulders
having the right lore now.
Yeah, right.
We're seeing additional versions of some of the coatings that we've discussed already. Now
the
this
effects.
is cool.
Yes.
Yeah, this
There
is
it
so
is.
good.
This is cool. We do like big fan of the depth effects. Biohazardous legendary kill effect.
It's
Very
very good.
cool.
Right there on the 25er,
Very splattery.
quarter of the way through the pass.
Yep.
I like that.
Trend lock.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Good helmet.
Okay, so we got a legendary weapon coating here. This looks pretty sweet.
The level 30
Oh, that's a
helmet
good one,
is a
yeah.
hazmat one that I love.
Yeah, this is funky.
Yeah,
I like
and
it.
it's got
Whoa.
an attachment I think later on that you'll see that I also love.
Oh, cool.
It's like spooky looking.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very cool. Now, Tiana, as I'm
It's like
going through
Evil
this,
Doctor. Yes.
I'm going to ask you. There's a really cool quality of life addition that the team has added now to the armor hall, right? So whenever I unlock a new piece of an armor coating or attachment, I won't have to worry about trying to find it.
That is correct. So after a game and you do unlock something new from the battle pass, rather than you having to go hunt in customization, hey, where did this helmet attachment, where was that?
Mhm.
Well, now we have a new flag, and you'll be able to more easily find those new unlocks that you found. And Sarah Stark on the team, and also Sarah Stark and Kyle Powell were the two folks on the team who worked on that, at least on the UX UI team. Of course, there's many more people who worked on that.
I really appreciate that because I think we all know it's between the events and the past. Like we're constantly
It was
giving
a
you
huge
content,
place
and then
to
you go
find
back,
it
you
within
can't
a
find
core,
it. Yeah.
even.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you
the
have to
helmet
go on a
attachments
deep
were the
dive.
ones that were the most
Yes.
frustrating.
Yeah, where'd that thing go that I just unlocked?
Yeah.
I'm gonna speed it up here. We're getting a little bit of signal that we got to pick up the pace.
I like.
In
this
addition
one.
to that, though,
Yes.
Tiana, like you unlock a bunch of things. There's also an easy way to dismiss them all, right? Because once you've got all of them, right, you don't want to have to go in and find them just to mark them as seen. We also have that full dismiss, correct?
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Cool.
Now I'll hold here just for a
This is
second.
your Geo.
This
You
is
mentioned
one.
this earlier, yeah. So we have, I've seen a lot of cool responses. People seem to enjoy some of the new weapon models that we showed in the launch trailer already. Here's an example. So you'll be able to get this at tier 50. It's the HasCon version.
Yeah, so you've got a little bit of that texture
Yeah.
and the
Yep.
barrel shroud.
The team's always talked about had these aspirations just to keep pushing it further and further.
Exactly.
So this does represent a pretty big step forward, I think, for us,
Yep.
and just makes me more excited for what's to come. Honestly,
I wonder what a HasCon, has convention. That's what I feel. I'm like, what kind of convention is that?
you go and discuss hazardous substances, hazardous
it's
response
like
protocols.
hazardous response.
Emergency preparedness.
Yeah, it's like those folks that work there.
There's been like a petroleum spill or something. I don't know.
There's
All
going to
right.
be some awesome cosplay.
Nice stance there, ready and waiting. Okay, let's keep going. Sean, was this the visor that you liked, or was
No,
it?
no, no. The visor's number 98.
Oh, you hate that visor.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like that one. It's a little purple.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little
I like
purple.
that
I love
one,
purple.
too.
Yeah.
So still going.
yeah.
By the way, we didn't specifically call this out, but you can earn back, I think, 1,000 credits.
Yeah, you're
through
going
the
to earn
pass,
enough back
right?
enough.
So,
If you buy the premium, you will earn enough credits to purchase the next premium.
got it.
Should you want?
Nice.
I love this one.
Yeah, it's cool.
Clean.
Love this flare gun, but I'm just hoping that little tab on it is like a release thing, because otherwise it feels like it's going to fall out of the holster. Just
I feel like
I
it's
think
got
it's
a
like
luck there,
there's
yeah.
like some
Yeah.
sort of magnetically sealed.
How do those
like,
magnets work?
Space.
There's
magic.
sci-fi space magic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't think
okay,
too hard
sure.
about it. Halsey
Yeah.
Oh
invented
my
it.
goodness, that looks
Wow.
incredible.
That is
Nice
nice.
coding,
That's
yeah.
clean. I like that.
That's so good.
Industrial preparedness. That's
Yeah.
a word salad.
Wow. Jeez.
Oh, a nice little helmet attachment.
Okay,
attachments are
yeah. So clearly now it looks like maybe someone's having to breathe in some hazardous gas or atmosphere conditions.
Yeah,
there,
they don't
right?
have the shoulder
Yeah.
tanks to breathe out of.
Keep going. We got a cool wrist
60
attachment.
75 is where it's
Here
at.
we
Yep.
go. This is cool now. Leaky
Nice.
seals.
Yes.
Leaky seals.
The armor effect.
Mm-hmm. Can you
So-
show the
there's a
back?
dad-
Show the back.
There's
Show
a
the back.
dad-
Show the back.
There's a dad joke about drip in here. I'm not gonna go there, but I'm just
You're
gonna
rocking
say.
the new drip.
Yeah.
I like it. Respectable.
Okay. Just in case you need some pouches and pockets.
The pouches are like
Packets?
key.
That
Yeah,
is
you
the
can never have
cargo
too many
pants.
pockets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cargo pants.
Yeah.
All right. We got more shoulders
Yeah.
matching the other. If you got one, you got to have two. So I'm gonna go through another chest piece.
Yeah, this one's good.
Here's a legendary item. So,
Some knee pads.
okay,
Very
those are
nice.
nice. Plenty. So
Oh,
we're gonna
dude.
have some good looking.
Whoa.
Okay. No, I'm backing up.
You're
I'm backing
trying
up.
to roll over the knife?
No,
Jeez.
this is cool.
anything with a
Of course,
knife.
with the knives, right? We
People
gotta have
do
knives.
really love knives.
we
Yes.
do, right?
It's
We
a
do.
lot, actually.
Blades.
Blades. Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
It's kind of got like a.
Our
like
players
a,
love blades.
It's giving me like a firefighter vibe too, with that oxygen tank kind of in the back. All right, now we're getting into the upper tiers here.
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
I like
it
that
is.
one.
I don't know what
I
that
like
gizmo is, but it's cool. It's the core bit. I like it.
Very
I have no
nice.
idea.
Okay.
Oh,
It's got a little bit of a splatter
little
effect.
Yeah.
Very
hazardous.
Yeah,
Secret
that's
of the ooze
very cool.
visor.
Okay. All right, that's
Nice.
a nice Oberon. All right, I like that.
Clean.
I like that. Oh, that might be our first glove I think we've seen in here today.
Yeah, I think there's only one glove in here, but then the
got to complete the look.
the 98
Oh.
visor.
That's the one you really like.
I love this visor, and then I also love the wrist
nice.
shot stance. That's the premium one. Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
Putting on the gloves.
Putting on
Yeah.
the gloves. Yeah, I think
Getting
it's
to
great.
work.
I love it.
Now
Take
this
them
is
to school.
funky.
Yep.
Oh, for the Oberon.
Some people
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like big chunky helmet attachments. We definitely hear that.
Like Gunganir.
Yeah, exactly
And then
like that.
we take us up to our final premium unlock, which is this really cool bulldog weapon model.
And it looks really
Yes.
good with the coating, the yellow coating. Can't
That
remember the name.
industrial one?
The industrial one, yeah.
it's Very
So you've got a
cool.
little bit of, in the stock, you got a little bit of geo change. And
Yeah.
it's
So that's our new battle pass. Remember, 100 tiers, but if you get the premium version, it never expires. It's yours to enjoy as you like. So the battle pass is one way we have to acquire content. I just want to remind folks too, events are going to come back in season 4. I
Yeah.
think we have 5
I think
different
we have
events.
5 events now. Yeah.
Each of those has free reward tracks with
rewards.
various cosmetic offerings that you'll be able to put on different cores
Different
and
cores,
just
exactly
continue
right.
expanding your
Yes.
your wardrobe, your closet, your Spartan closet, your locker. What do we call it?
Armor Hall.
Armor, I guess.
I think that's probably the best way to put
Looking
it.
for that
Armor
word.
Hall.
Okay. I did want to quickly also talk about the shop because we've got a couple things of note here that I think are interesting.
Look at that shop.
A new shop.
Now,
Look
first
at
of
that.
all, Tiano, just
Yeah.
from kind of a UX, UI perspective, I know the team's been working to address some feedback and try to just sort of make the shop function a little differently.
Yep. So there's a whole scrolling mechanism now, so you can go further to the right. There's a lot more, and what's great is that allows you to see a lot more of the Spartans themselves, or those armor customization pieces that you're purchasing. And this Brooklyn Sheets on our team was one of the individuals who worked on this. So great work on the team. Also, some of the bundle looks as well. I won't go into the whole logic, but at least the way it's been presented, another something that the team's been working on. Patrick Marco, that's something he's also been working on all of these, the visual lockups. So from a UX UI side, we have a lot more space and a lot more visually engaging to see what it is that you're getting.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it from the visual, like this is what the Spartan looks like. I was like, oh yeah, we can do more offers, right? But no, you actually get to see what the Spartan looks like so much more clearly now.
They give the team the opportunity, like you guys, thank you so much for this. You give the team the opportunity to like show off stuff.
Yes.
So there's like dynamic, they can choose the size of the tiles. So that's, I think one of those was a 4x4 or 2x2.
Yeah.
And you can just make things really clear to the players about what they should look at, what's valuable, what's cool, what's new. And it's just a lot of flexibility. So it's really, really great.
Let me just also shout out, this will be one of our launch bundles,
Yep.
Hazmat Haven. Now this is a super duper
It's
bundle. It's
huge.
basically 3 full bundles rolled into one. So you'll have the option to pick it up as, if you buy it through the Hazmat Haven, you actually get 2 exclusive extra pieces here, right? So that's how you'll be able to
It's the only
acquire
way you can get those.
this mythic effects set as well as this weapon charm here. But you also could buy each of these other pieces individually, right?
Yep.
So, and here's what you were referencing
yeah.
before, Sean. So we'll see this, but some cool stuff tucked away in here, right?
The AR model.
This
The
AR is
Geo.
really nice.
Yeah.
So
it's a very cool one. And then the don't sleep on the sidekick.
absolutely, I never sleep on the sidekick. I did it once. My back was
Yeah.
killing me. Oh. All right. Sorry, I see the legendary one. Oh, look at that. What
Yeah.
the heck? Woo.
Nice little armor
Yeah.
thing there.
Now, one last thing I want to shout out on the shop, because in addition to that, we want to give some love to the HCS shop, which is welcoming in a brand new season of content as well. We have brand new weapon skins. Now, not only are these really badass, but reminder that every team skin that you buy, a portion of that will go directly to the org. So it's a great way to support your favorite esports organization. And also with buying any one of these will unlock a free bonus BR model.
Which you see right there.
Yeah,
You
so
timed that perfectly.
oh, that was luck. But yeah, any HCS team skin, weapon skin purchase would unlock that new BR model for you. So again, really cool to see the team is leaning into more and more unique variations
the
of our
models.
geometry, right?
Yeah.
So that I think kind of maybe wraps up our customization conversation. And now I want to shift gears and just briefly talk to you guys about something, Sean. This has been a long time coming, something you're super excited about. Career rank. It's coming into the game next week. Just give us the high level pitch here. What's the goal behind this?
So I'm not going to say this should have been there from launch, but this is one of those things where when you're playing a game and you go through the battle pass, all that's great, right? Engaging with it from a season perspective. The whole point of career rank is to give you an opportunity to constantly grind and progress against something that is meaningful to you and that also other players can see. And for us, in the past, 343 games have used Spartan rank. And it's very, very, very critical to our foundation that we understand that we are a military sci-fi shooter. And what I really wanted for the team when I was beginning to push on this was like, besides the value of having players have something that they can continually engage in and feel like they are putting their time towards something, is also honoring, the military ranks that we used to have in games like Halo Reach. And so with that proposal, the team went off and just figured out the best way to possibly do that. And then I feel like they crushed it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm excited for it. You mentioned Halo Reach and the military sort of aesthetic. Tiana, from like sort of the visual design perspective, how does the team sort of think about looking at what we've done in the past, but also still trying to make it feel fresh and new, and it has to be readable? Like, what are just some of those considerations?
Yeah, there's a lot of considerations when you think about whether it's the progression and the visual inspiration that the team took. So, of course, it takes many people to work on things like this. So, for example, Jeremy Hill was the progression designer, and then also Sarah Stark was the UI artist. And she worked also with CJ Ramos, a visual and UI designer. And both of them, when they looked at this, they were looking at what progression models in the past worked well and what did people like as well. And at a glance, when you're looking at these, can you quickly distinguish the metals, like the different types of metals that you see here? And then you see the different silhouettes with some of the other shapes of these. Yes, here we go.
Here's the full progression, right?
Yep, and you can tell, like looking at these, the team took inspiration from Halo Reach, but then Halo 3. Certainly, there's some reference in terms of the progression system to MCC. But then also when you experience and you earn these in game as well, what's cool is other folks who worked on this, Mark Dunbar, and then also Julian Van Putten. There's animation as well that's involved. So that's one of the awesome things with this. Here's a great example where the career ranks will now be featured as adornments on your nameplates. So not just in-game, but then also in other places like Waypoint. So it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's something I know I hadn't thought about until we were chatting more, is just how much intentionality and thoughtfulness has to go into every potential use case. How readable is it? What's the right way to show it? Thank you for shouting out Waypoint, because your service record on Waypoint you'll be able to inspect a player in the PGCR, be able to see their rank as well. That's right. I like that we're bringing that to the forefront. Sean, I think you told me you were super excited. Your favorite, of course, is the final ranked tier.
Well, the hero rank, yes.
It's not skill based, so I think you have a chance of achieving it. Right? So, but we are super excited.
1v1.
I know.
Let's do it for charity.
I know you don't like me to use the word journey, but there's no other way to say it. It really is. Your journey will begin on June 20th when you begin your adventure from recruit up to hero. Yeah. And we're excited to kind of be a part of that. I know we're looking forward to it. Any final thoughts from either one of you? Any kind of closing remarks before we let you go?
I'm excited.
I am excited too. Yeah, I'm very excited. As always, I'm super grateful to the players. Without them, we wouldn't, be doing any of this stuff. And keep playing. Try to participate in flights. So we had, I shouldn't plug this, but I'm going to. No, I'm going to plug it. I should be plugging it. Halo Insider, flighting. It's important. You should try to join, and you should definitely just join, and then participate, because we had career rank in flights.
Yeah, we did private flights. I mean, we have internal flights and sort of private flights, but that feedback loop is constant. It maybe can't always involve the entirety of the community, but I do want to, we've said this before, I will reconfirm, broader flighting is in the plans for the future. It's being actively worked on. Our goal is absolutely to get back to letting anyone in the Insider program have the opportunity to get hands-on and help us get that critical feedback, and just results in a better experience and product at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
So it's super important.
So sign up for Halo Insider. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much, Tiana. We're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we want to talk to you about Forge, about Infection, a couple new things coming on the playlist front, and everything else coming in Season 4. We'll be right back. Here again, still coming to you live from 343 here in Redmond, Washington, and we are talking about Halo Infinite Season 4 Infection. Unishek, welcome back. We had a little bit of rearrangement here. I want to give a quick shout out. Unfortunately, Michael Shore had a conflict come up. He had to pull out of being here today. So
we'll do it live.
We're going to do it without him. The show is going to go on, but he's given us a lot of good notes to talk to. We have some cool things coming to Forge and the playlist front, and we're going to take a few minutes here right now to walk through that. So, John, I think we start by jumping into what's new and notable with Forge, and I do believe you have created a little demo here to help illustrate some of those new things.
Spent some time building out a little map here on Scar. We can take a look here and just laid out a bunch of different objects that'll be coming in with this season. You can see I've got some Forerunner glyphs along with a bunch of Forerunner objects, which is brand new. We already had the Forerunner palette, but we are like filling it out with even more Forerunner objects. A lot of these, if not all of these, can be scaled up and bring you a ton of gameplay variety. Like one other thing with scaling I wanted to bring up is we also have VFX scaling in this season. So you can see this is the default size of this fire here. It's a human fire around a medium size. I think is its default size. Then you can just kind of scale it up if you want to. And alongside scaling of these FX objects, we also now have toggles. So you can toggle between the damage and sound. So if you want it to make any sound or deal damage to players, you can go ahead and change that, right? If you want to have it so players walk through fire, right, and not take damage in your Forge creation, you can totally do that now. And here's just a few other examples of scaling of effects objects, right? That's the default size, and you can scale it, and it still looks so good.
Yeah.
And you can just use this to really plus up a bunch of your maps and really make it look beautiful. And for any fans of the Forge Fundamental series, I went ahead and made a giant Giga Grunt, and I was able to do this with a single fire. In that Forge Fundamental series, I placed a bunch of different fires around the grenades. In this case, I only had one single little plasma fire burning, and I just put it on both of the plasmas. So now my Giga Grunt there is fully sized out with only needing a few objects. This season also brings in a water palette, which I did want to touch on. You can see a little bit of it here. These rocks I kind of built to make a small little pool. These aren't part of Scar, but built this nice little pool, and then I dropped in this water, and you can kind of see you've got this fantastic water that you can now add. This is the first time in any Forge of any Halo game that you've got placeable, scalable water, and it just really adds so much to your maps.
For sure, and this also, I believe, one of the most highly requested additions that we've had since Forge launch and Infinite.
Yes, actually, in fact, I'm going to fly over to the center of the map. We talked about the Death Pit with Barry Hill and Kaylee a bit, but you can go ahead and scale the water. There's me scaling it in action, and I'll just add it to this little center Death Pit, and now it looks like I've got a full pit of water just here, completely covering the center of this map. And it allows you to do so much.
Yet the fire still burns below.
Yep. So you could still fall into that center pit of death. It won't cause too much of an issue. But you've got water that is placeable, scalable. It's incredible.
And I want to call out, too, it is purely aesthetic at this point, but Shore did want to make sure we let folks know that the team is working on kind of how to take that to the next level and make something that's a little bit more interactive that would respond to the player, respond to bullets, and things like that.
Yeah, so this is the dynamic version. We will have, this is the static version. We will have a dynamic version coming in a later season. Beyond that addition, though, as much as I love the water and could go on and on about it, we also have minigame mode coming, which is a mode that has no existing or underlying mode logic. So it's truly just you are on the map hanging around. And so you can then take objects that are on the map, like this brand new ball object, which you could use to, say, plant in an enemy base or throw in certain modes, and script this to have all sorts of game logic. In fact, you could script all three of these objects, whether it's this stronghold zone, the oddball, or the ball, and have all three of them interacting and live on the map at a certain time, right? Go plant this there, do that objective, hold the ball for that long, then do this objective, and make some really cool creative modes.
So, I mean, we're going to blow we've already seen some amazing Forge, not just maps, but modes, but this is really going to blow the lid off of it, right? Like, there's almost no limitation, really, in terms of how creatively you want to be, because you're not really confined to just the logic and the rules that we had already baked in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep, there's a few other quality of life additions, right, which is some universal player blockers, which will help people secure their maps without needing as many objects. You also have some budget improvements. I can actually pull that up on the menu here. You can see a breakdown of the budget. It's much more detailed now in Season 4, so you can kind of see what is going right or wrong with your map, and kind of tune the areas that you need to make sure your map is performing very well. And then there's also, I'll say like version notes for when you do save it. You can say, hey, I've added, say, Forerunner decals, then Forerunner objects, then I built the pond. And you can do that with every single save that you do so that you or your collaborators know what you've been doing on that version of the map.
It's mind-blowing. I think it's safe to say Infinite's version of Forge is hands down the most powerful, robust version that's shipped with any Halo title, and it just somehow they just keep getting it more and more powerful, more and more robust. And honestly, for folks who may be like me and probably realistically will never really have the time or the skills to get in here and build some of these amazing creations, doesn't matter, because we're all going to benefit by the awesome stuff that the creative Forge community will create. And for some of you may have already seen, we have community content coming into matchmaking off and on. We have the community collection playlist. We're starting to see some of these maps now permeate through the experience. I know Michael Shore and the Forge team and playlist team, that's something that they're committed to. In fact, I did want to give a shout out. We are always on the hunt for Forge 4v4 experiences to bring into matchmaking. In particular, we are right now, I believe, looking for submissions that might fit into a Husky raid experience, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we have a post on Halo Waypoint where you can go and find a Husky raid template that you then just need to art up and make it your own, right? The base underlying gameplay is all set up. Just art it up, and then you can hit it with the tag in game on the content browser on your asset, and make sure you submit it to 343 for matchmaking consideration.
Yep, you can also visit the Halo official Discord server. I believe there's some groups in there about Forge as well as some additional resources.
Yep.
And lastly, Shore also just wanted me to plug, we're also always on the lookout for Forge BTB content. We know we've heard a lot of feedback from folks that obviously we appreciate the arena experiences, but hey, can we get some Forge maps into BTB? That's something the team's currently looking at, and we're always accepting candidates there. And one of my personal favorites, Castle Wars, is also something that we're looking to bring back, and we can only do that with the help of the community giving us maps that are tailored to that mode.
Yeah, Castle Wars, I know we did a bunch of Halo 5 playdates on Castle Wars. Anytime it rolled around, we had a good time. You jumping on the mongoose always, rather than fighting. I was like, you got to use swords.
We'll get back to that again. I will play my Castle Wars Halo Infinite experience at some point soon. I want to talk about playlists now. We're going to switch gears. That's the other side that Forge Lord Michael Shore also is our playlist lead here at the studio. And we haven't talked about this yet, even though it's one of our biggest additions to the game, and that's Infection. It's the brand new mode. Halo fans are very familiar with it throughout the ages. It's kind of shown up in multiple games, but it's back in Halo Infinite with a different twist.
Yep. It's got a bunch of cool effects, as you can see, as Iratus infects the Spartans. We're looking at some brand new Infinite Infection gameplay here. One thing you'll notice is the survivors do spawn with some threat sensors, and the alpha infected, so the first people that spawn as infected zombies will have camouflage. So you have a little bit of a cat and mouse game right off the bat. Make sure you use your threat sensors wisely, though, because otherwise you might run out when you need them most. You see a player just detected them there. And then the alphas actually have the shroud screen, so they can throw down cover and try and close the gap on these Spartans, but the Spartan's threat sensor can detect them in there. And they can also thread those shroud screens to protect their beta infected zombies that they've converted that don't have camouflage, right? So they can kind of lead their own pack in a sense on those pushes towards these human holdouts.
Now, for folks wondering, like, I want to make sure I can play Infection. It's my favorite mode. We will have a dedicated Infection playlist. It'll be there at launch in the featured slot. And then my understanding is it's not going away. It's going to be one of our staple playlists. So you'll have Infection on a variety of maps. It'll be there for the long haul. And I cannot wait to jump in here. And I haven't played that much, to be honest. So it's going to be a new experience. I can't wait to go in there and give it a shot.
And we'll have the custom 343 maps that
That's right, that Kaylee mentioned, right?
Yep.
So they'll all have a little bit of a visual flair to kind of tie out that Infection experience. So super cool. Excited to have that. I know folks have been waiting for it. I'm happy that it will be here next Tuesday. Another playlist update I want to share just on the rotation. For ranked playlists, we wanted to touch on that now. We've got some updates have been shared by Tashi. He's our ACS, but also our ranked playlist leads. First of which is a brand new ranked rotational that will debut next week.
Yep, we'll have ranked Slayer coming in, and that's been one fans have been asking for quite some time. we're very happy to bring it in. It's going to be bandit and AR starts with radar enabled. So this kind of appeals more towards I don't want to compete in HCS, but I still want to see how good I am at ranked, right? And players have been asking for it. We're happy to deliver it.
Yeah, and another, I think, a nice quality of life change based on feedback is from going forward with Season 4, these ranked rotationals now will run for a full month. So you'll have a little more time to work on that CSR and grind your way out. And it's more important than ever because for the first time now, we're happy to say that we have a way for ranked players to kind of flex and show off their prowess. And we are excited to announce that as of right now, we have ranked leaderboards live on Halo Waypoint.
What? Actually?
So, this is a screenshot I just took yesterday. This is what it looks like. I can verify the integrity of the data. I did check with the team. John, I don't know if you know this, but I do play a lot, and as I've gotten older, I've just gotten better.
Hang on. I'm gonna have to double check with the production booth and see the validity of that asset.
Well, I may have pulled some shenanigans. Okay, so this might be a little more realistic, but the fact remains the same. You'll be able to visit Halo Waypoint, check out ranked leaderboards. Right now, for the remainder of Season 3, you'll be able to get a look at who are the top ranked players in the world for Season 3. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we will roll into the new season, and the battle is on to see who can climb to the top for that.
Yeah.
So
recognizable names all in the top 10, right? Tons of pro players who deserve it if they've been grinding ranked arena, putting the time in and seeing the results.
Yeah, so that's live on Halo Waypoint right now. So you got a few more days to see. I think could be some bragging rights. Who is going to end Season 3 in the top spot?
Mm-hmm.
It might be me.
Nice.
It might be me.
Could be you.
We'll see. Okay, and then with that, John, I'm looking at my notes here, and what do you know? We have hit most of the big ticket items. Season 4 has a lot of great stuff coming. Let's just do a quick recap here. Look at this handy graphic. We talked about Infection moments ago. It is our marquee mode. You'll find that on day 1 in a featured playlist. Career rank, we heard about that from Tiana and Sean.
Mm-hmm.
You'll begin your Spartan journey next Tuesday on the 20th. Battle your way from recruit all the way to hero. 2 new maps that Kaylee talked to us about. Forest coming to Arena. Scar is that banished kind of dig site aesthetic that we'll be able to jump into. The equipment, we got
nice.
Threat Seeker, Quantum Translocator, plus those other balance tweaks we talked about. Big fan of the customization. We spent some time on the Battle Pass. That's all going to be available next week as well. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about it, but just a reminder, we will have 5 seasonal events. They're free. They'll have free reward tracks, variety of content. You'll also be able to add to different cores.
Tons to unlock.
Yep. And then, of course, John, you just walked us through some of the Forge updates that are coming. I also want to just give a shout out. There will be more improvements and fixes. So make sure next week you head over to the Halo support site. I think we popped that up here for you on the bottom, but not only is this the place to go, we really appreciate and thank everyone that provides tickets to us. If you encounter an issue or a problem, it's a great way to make sure the team gets that information and can act on it. But make sure you head there next Tuesday for the full, robust patch notes and all the things you can look forward to that have changed in the game when Season 4 launches.
Yep, we'll have it all.
So we are about to wrap things up. I'm excited. We're a few days away, June 20th. I also want to plug, we have, I think, 1 or 2 more blogs coming to Halo Waypoint. You'll be able to read a little bit more. Oh, we forgot about this too, John. When is Halo Infinite Season 4 arriving where you live? Handy chart for that.
Yeah, you can totally see 11 a.m. Pacific time here, our normal kind of launch for seasons. And then wherever you are at, you can kind of find a local region and go from there.
So the race to hero kicks off 11 a.m. Pacific time. Now, before we fully shift into Season 4 mode, I did want to take one moment to say thank you to everyone for joining us in Season 3. We hope you had a lot of fun with it. We put out a call a few months back asking the community, please send us your favorite clips. So we'd like to go out with one look and one send-off to Season 3 with some of your favorite gameplay moments here in our Season 3 community montage. Now, on behalf of everybody on the studio, we thank you. We appreciate you. Appreciate your feedback. Thanks for sticking with us. I also want to give a shout out to everybody here behind the camera that's worked hard to make this stream happen. Appreciate all of you. And of course, everybody at the studio who's been putting so much passion into making Halo Infinite the best game it can be. And we're just going to keep going. There's lots more to come. Thank you. And we will see you next Tuesday.
them all.